Football is a brilliant sport. Telling people what to do is a brilliant thing. So what better way to pass your time than playing a video game where you tell football men what to do? Well, this video game exists and it's called... Well, come on, did you not read the title of the video?
Football Manager has proven over the last 15 years or so that even if a game is stressful and looks like a piece of software that you would use when you're at work, it can actually still be quite fun. And while football games like FIFA aim to recreate the beautiful game in glorious visual fidelity, Football Manager plays more like an Excel spreadsheet, giving you control over the inner workings of your club and the tactical approach of your team. Despite the game we know today only dating back to 2004, the roots of the series go back much further to the start of the 1990s, and the idea of managing your favourite football team from your bedroom in your pants was first developed and played in the early 1980s.
Before we learn about the wonders of the game that many refer to simply as FM, we must first learn a little about the sport in which the game is based upon. Why? I hear literally no one asking. Well, firstly, it's because many people don't even call the sport by its correct name.
The roots of the football management genre date back to 1492, when a young American man named Christopher Columbus gathered up a few of his mates and set sail in his boat, the Mary Rose, from his home in a place what was called America. He took some people along to keep his crew entertained, and these people were mainly immigrants from Brazil and Argentina, who had moved to America due to the promise of its inclusive and welcoming society. One day, Columbus got into an altercation with his navigator, a man named Graham Souness, and knocked over his ale. Upon seeing the decorative silver flagon quickly approaching, a Brazilian deckhand controlled the cup with his foot and in a sublime second touch, tapped it into his chest, flicked it into the air and volleyed it into some nearby cargo meeting.
And thus, soccer was invented. And when Columbus finally discovered England, it became the most popular game in the whole of the English kingdom.
In 1992, the English Major Soccer League, as it was known, struck an expensive television deal with the country's biggest franchises, including the Manchester Devils and the North London Cannonmen, to display their games via satellite. When they tried to copyright the phrase English soccer, however, it was found that the trademark was already held by a small manufacturing company in Middlesbrough. And so, the marketing team at the satellite network rebranded the sport based on the fact that players kicked the ball with their foot. And thus, on the 15th of August 1992, the term football was born.
So now we know more about the history of soccer, we can turn our attention to looking at the history of Football Manager and where that came from.
Essentially, Sports Interactive had made the first long-running football management series in the early 90s, which was of course Championship Manager. They fell out and moved away from publisher Eidos as both parties feared they were going their own way. SI broke away without access to the Championship Manager brand and so settled on the Football Manager name instead, and also settled on a bucket load of cash from Sega. This was a bold move, as Eidos were well respected in the industry and series such as Tomb Raider and Hitman were selling really well at the time. Football Manager 2005 was the first game in the new series. It was also about 10 times better than Championship Manager 5, which carried the old name but was created by a different studio. So much so that within about 3 years, Football Manager had completely killed and replaced the Championship Manager games and brand in the minds of many fans.
So now FM is truly the king of the genre. Much like Call of Duty killed Medal of Honor and Windows 95 Solitaire killed a physical pack of playing cards, Football Manager is the real king of football management sims. And even those lunatics that play the career mode in FIFA would admit that at best, that's only second best. So what exactly do you do in Football Manager?
The gameplay of Football Manager is based around you taking control of a real-world football club, such as Zebra, Man UFC, and the German national team. Your job is to select the tactics, pick the players, and implement a game plan to win matches. Win enough matches, and you might just win a league, cup, or a promotion.
If you're enjoying the video so far, please consider clicking on the red button below this video. I think it says something like subscribe. Not sure what that means, I think it's Spanish, but apparently it makes me smile and it makes you feel good about yourself.
The premise, as with real football, is simple, but this simplistic objective is covered by about 200 layers of statistics and menus that mean turning Accrington Stanley, who are they exactly, into the next Champions League winner is probably not far off as difficult as it would be in real life. The depth of Football Manager is the thing that keeps most players hitting their spacebar for one more in-game day. Not only can you complete the obvious task of picking a team for a match day, but in FM you can actually recruit your staff, set up your scouts and manage the club's finances. But in reality that actually just means watching a red line point downwards until you've got zero cash left. And this is where the true passion for FM begins. While some players like nothing more than starting a game with Manchester City or Real Madrid with almost unlimited funds to buy players, for some, the idea of setting out near the foot of the global football pyramid with no experience is the only way to play. That's right, in the game you can set your own experience level, the only real kind of in-game difficulty setting. While you can select the full complement of coaching badges and global playing experience, some players, including me, love nothing better than to start unemployed with a Sunday League reputation and setting out on a journey that will take them from the lowest reaches of the game through to Champions League glory. Or more than likely quitting in their second season after they can't string together more than 2 wins with Boston United, the only American team still left in the English League.
Just like real football, the game is very complex. So if you don't know your 4-4-2 from your 4-5-1, if you don't know the difference between a Metzala and a Raumdeuter, well, it's probably not for you.
So the main aim for Football Manager is to select the team, pick the formation and the players you feel are the best fit, and try and progress them up through the leagues, or to lift the national title in the highest league of your chosen country, maybe even win an international tournament. The biggest issue for many with FM is that for most players, the team that they support isn't the greatest club in their country with millions of their local currency to spend. So the game generally becomes a grind to buy and sell players for small sums of money, always hoping that that next gem is just around the corner.
For the vast amount of time that you're playing Football Manager, you'll be convincing yourself that that 36-year-old Moldovan left-back is the reincarnation of Paolo Maldini, and you'll be acting as if that £15,000 you're spending on that Burkina Faso wonder kid is actually coming out of your own bank account.
And that sums up FM. It grabs you in and makes you feel like every small decision is life and death, when the reality is it's obviously far more important than that. That 18-year-old who you're about to sell will always turn into a world-class player and score against you. And that goalkeeper that you decided wasn't right for you, well, he'll be soon playing a major role in his nation's next tournament success. But that's the thing that makes FM the game that it is. You can make terrible game-destroying decisions, and the game doesn't tell you. There's no overarching tutorial, the menus are quite hard to navigate, and unless you have a very competent understanding of football, you'll most likely never understand exactly why you're performing so badly. The game sits in the sports genre, however, FM is far closer to something like Crusader Kings or Europa Universalis. It's a grand strategy game wrapped up inside the veneer of a sport you know and love. New players are not welcome to its complexity, and even in recent years, veterans of the Championship Manager and Football Manager series have found newer titles hard to pick up and play.
The game requires tens, if not hundreds of hours of your time, just like my fourth wife, and if Civilization requires just one more turn, Football Manager demands just one more game, and if you've played one, you might as well play 2 or 3. You've come this far, why not just make it to the next transfer window? It should only take you about 7 hours or so to get there.
In recent years, the old text updates that made the match experience so memorable were replaced with top-down counters, which were then in turn replaced with a full 3D match engine. The game is almost always released with several game-breaking issues with its match engine that many players clamour to exploit in the early days of each season's release. But the goodwill towards Sports Interactive rarely takes a hit, as the development team appear to genuinely care about making a good game rather than just selling as many copies as possible. The frontman for the series over the years is Miles Jacobson, the studio director for SI Games. He's been involved with SI Games since back in the Championship Manager days, and is now front and centre when it comes to announcing each season's game and exploring its changes, tweaks and updates. He's also the guy that convinces you this game is 100% brand new and built from the ground up, even though it's about 97% exactly the same as last time.
The game as we know it today is virtually unchanged in the last 30 years, but the only thing that's growing faster than its sales is the amazing community of people that play the series.
In the last 10 years, the growth of YouTube has meant that players can now showcase their skills in many different ways, from sharing amazing tactics and tips to follow, through to Let's Play style stories, whereby the game is played out in a blog style series of video updates. Tens of thousands regularly tune into the likes of WorkTheSpace, Lollujo and LokiDoki to see their latest journey from non-league to legend, or to see them journeying around the globe from random club to random club. And you know for sure that if you see a YouTube channel with the letters FM at the end, exactly what game their channel will be covering. And this is what Football Manager gives us all. It's a chance to live the life of a football manager with all the stress, hard work and hours looking at statistics, but without the hefty payslip at the end. But more than that, it's a chance to be part of a community of gamers and football fans that will cheer each other on to take San Marino to the World Cup final. Or perhaps even more unrealistic than that, take a Scottish club past the Champions League group stages.
Football Manager is the greatest sports series of all time. Football Manager is the greatest strategy game of all time. And if you decide to install it on your computer today, it will definitely take over a large percentage of your time. Now, should I get back to that Moldovan left back? So if I play him there, go 4-4-2, the diamond. Thanks for watching. If you really enjoyed yourself and you want to see more content like this, if you click over somewhere like here, I think, you'll be able to go and check out the channel and see some more great videos. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can ensure that you don't miss any in the future. Just make sure you click on the bell icon. If you want to leave me a comment, tell me what your favourite football management game is. Tell me what your favourite sports game is. Maybe it's not football, maybe you don't even like soccer, or whatever you call it where you're from. Just let me know. And also tell me about other games you'd like me to cover, and I'll try my very, very best to get round to it in the future. See you again.